So I was at church yesterday, and I went into the restroom. I had to take my son to go use the restroom, and it was a family restroom, so only one person can be in there at a time. And when I walked inside, the smell that hit me made my eyes water. I was in church, but in that moment, I felt like I was at the threshold of hell. Welcome to Rumble Book Club. I'm your host, Mike Hernandez, and this is the show where a normal guy like me can talk about interesting books I've read, old and new, good and bad. So if you like the show, you like the content, you like the books that I talk about, or maybe I just have a punchable face. Whatever keeps you clicking, fool. You can follow me on Parler and Twitter and TikTok, or you can subscribe right down below on YouTube and Rumble. But more important, be a part of the conversation, talk, share these videos with your friends, and comment down below. Let me know if there's any books you want me to cover, and I might even add it to the list, read it, and do a video on it, and give you a shout out for turning me on to a good book. Reading one or two of the comments, one of the latest comments on my video on Speechless by Michael Knowles. Cole K. Kin says, "Love your videos," with an exclamation point. Well, I'll tell you what, Cole Kin, I love your comment. So today we're going to be taking a look at a children's classic. My kids enjoy this one each time I read it to them, and I think you will too if you select this book. Today we're going to take a look at Horton, Here's a Who by Dr. Seuss. So Dr. Seuss is one of the most well-known names in children's literature, and that goes without being said. Along with The Cat in the Hat and The Grinch, Horton, Here's a Who is probably one of the best sellers of Dr. Seuss books today. It's constantly reprinted, it's included in collections, individually. It's just a very, very popular book. Now, Horton is used a couple times when Dr. Seuss really wants to lay out an evergreen message. So it's not something just spotty covering maybe something topical of the day, like he did with, for instance, the story of Yertle the Turtle, or when it's just something goofy like Hop on Pop or One Fish, Two Fish. When he wants to really lay out a long-lasting message, he goes with Horton. So in this story, Horton the elephant shows compassion, patience, and bravery in the face of persecution for the sake of someone that's smaller than him. All right, let's go into our three-part criteria, and then we'll start with the aesthetics. So we have a simple tricolored front with an orange that really pops off the shelf with a touch of countering blue from the grass here that Horton's hiding in. You got Horton, you got the title and the author all in white with Horton kind of inked in like the traditional Dr. Seuss drawing. What I like is that there's no real distractions, and it's pretty much on par with any good children's book cover. It's good size and feel for hardback. No complaints whatsoever as far as the aesthetics go. Perfect. 10 out of 10. All right, let's take a look at the readability. This book in particular is more story-focused than many of Dr. Seuss's typical books, which can blow up in popularity. Some of his other books, like One Fish, Two Fish, or Hop on Pop or Fox and Socks, they jump really quickly with easy rhyming schemes. It takes a little more finesse if you're the parent reading this to your kid to get the rhyming scheme just right. And in some of these cases, it can get a little long, so you have to really kind of pre-read it to kind of get the timing down. As far as the page layout, it's very open with bright pages that allow the ink drawings and the light touch of color to really pop. Really lets you see a basic image, and the kid's imagination can really jump from there, which I like. The print here is well placed. It's very large, easy to pick up, and there's the typical mix of real and imaginary words. So while it can be a slightly difficult for parents reading this to their kids, it's still very, very, very easy to read. Even a younger kid can still read it at a reasonable clip. So as far as the readability goes, strong 9 out of 10. All right, let's take a look at the content. So in the story, Horton hears a tiny voice coming from a speck floating in the wind. It captures his attention, and after examination, he finds that there's an entire city of tiny creatures called Who's living on the speck. From that point on, he decides to protect it despite the entire forest of animals he lives with ridiculing him over it. They try to convince Horton that he's crazy and that there are no people on the speck, and they even try to sabotage his efforts to protect the Who's by stealing the flower that he places them on. Two things kind of stick out with that concept. The first being that As far as Horton protecting the speck, it doesn't affect any of the animals. It doesn't take up any of their time. It's not annoying them. They just don't like the fact that he's trying to protect something small, and so they try and sabotage him. Another thing that sticks out is Horton's absolute persistence and his belief that there are beings on there, he's not crazy, and that no matter what they do to try to sabotage his plans, he is going to protect their lives. Through every abuse that they put him through, Horton never wavers, not once in his proclamation that a person is a person, no matter how small. So this is a very important lesson in life, especially for young children to learn as early as possible. It's not just our duty to see the humanity in everyone, but also our responsibility to do everything in our power to defend those who cannot defend themselves and to protect the innocent. A problem that anyone watching this can look out and see in society is that we don't seem to value life as much because we live in an age where we've distanced ourselves from each other through screens and fake profile names and avatars, and that creates this divide between us and our fellow humans, even our family in many cases. In my opinion, we need this lesson of Horton Hears a Who, more now than we ever have in history. That a person is a person, no matter how small. So as for the content, I rate this a perfect score of 10 out of 10. I highly recommend this book if you're a parent looking for good literature to read to your kid. I found this book at Barnes & Noble. You can find it at any bookstore. It is a very, very popular book. Dr. Seuss books in particular have been flying off the shelves due to the controversy over some of his other books from earlier printings, but you should still be able to find this one in particular. If all else fails, check eBay and Amazon. The book is Horton Hears a Who by Dr. Seuss. Go out and get yourself a copy. Thanks for watching, everybody, and go read something. I can't even describe to you how bad that smell was. It was so bad, I couldn't even lecture Mickey about what he was doing wrong.